Okay, that was a quick break. We are back with Kyle Rand from Rendever. We're going to talk about virtual reality and senior living. And actually, I haven't heard too much of. I haven't of all our guests, I haven't had a chance to interact with Rendever that much yet. So I'm really interested to hear this presentation. I love the technology and then all the places we're going and how that's helping seniors. So uh, let's give everybody a second to come in and sit down. I'm going to go through my normal spiel of how to work Zoom. So down the bottom, all those great icons are wherever they are for you. There's a chat icon. If you have technical issues, you just want to chat amongst yourselves. If you want to win our chat contest, that is where that happens. If you have a specific question for Kyle about his presentation, if you put that in the Q&A so we can keep that separate. And that is about all for that. Steve, do you want to go over the contest?
Yep, two just really quick things. Most chats you initiate $100 gift card to Amazon. We're doing one each day. So if you weren't here yesterday, today starts with a 000 for everybody. And just a quick reminder that after each speaker, please go over and just leave your speaker evaluation. I just dropped the link into so I didn't quite drop the link into the chat because I didn't have it switched to everyone. That's actually the other thing I want to say to you is that when you go to chat, it probably defaults to host and panelists, which is great, means we'll get to see it, but nobody else will get to see your brilliance. And so you need to make sure you switch it to everybody. So I've done that. And so you can see that link to go in. And if you haven't already rated Julie, you should go do that. While I'm blathering and so that you can give Kyle full attention. Kyle, I love technology. I love virtual reality, except that it makes me nervous because I feel like I'm out of balance. I don't know whether you know, but then in the Bay Area, there's this thing in a big warehouse where you can go put on a pair of virtual reality goggles and explore the entire the space station. I've got a friend of mine who's a Southwest pilot who did. I got to get down and see it. And so I know yours is more purposeful than that, but I'm really excited to have you. So if you can tell us who you are and teach us something.
Hey, who doesn't want to go to the space station? Next time I'm in the Bay, Steve, you and I will have to meet up and we'll go. We'll try it ourselves. Okay. You can see my screen. So welcome everybody. I'm really excited to be here. We have a short period of time, so I'm going to talk really fast. I'm just going to set that warning out right now. Excited to be here to talk about my favorite thing, which is the use of VR to help people thrive, and specifically within senior living to help really build communities that thrive. Obviously, this is something we talk about a lot, so I think it's a really important conversation, and it's important to bring storytelling in. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kyle Rand. I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO of a company called Rendever. We were founded in 2016, really focused on the use of VR within this industry, which I will obviously get into. My background, I grew up volunteering in a local senior living community in my hometown in upstate New York. I spent a lot of time scooping ice cream, and it was the best thing ever. And then I went to school and I studied cognitive decline in the aging population. I got to spend a lot of time with older adults, going through these really, frankly, ugly cognitive research paradigms, and really got to learn firsthand what a proper user experience should look like for an older adult. Which really transitioned to how we've come and built this platform at Rendever. This is probably the last presentation that I get to really highlight this, but one of my recent highlights is I became puppy dad to a wonderful golden retriever named Riley. For those of you who were at Argentum last year, you might have met him. He no longer looks like this. He is much bigger. He's like 65 pounds now. So this is probably the last time I'm going to use this slide. So, but worth introducing because for me, this is something that helps me thrive on a daily basis. When we talk about VR and senior living, I think when we were getting started almost 7 years ago now, which is crazy, a lot of people didn't really understand how you could use this technology within this demographic. And we got a lot of pushback and a lot of hesitation. Here we are today, and I'm very proud to say we've delivered over 1.5 million magical moments directly through Rendever's VR platform. And collectively, residents of senior living have spent over 6 years of their lives collectively in Rendever to date. And I say this word magical moments, and when we talk about helping people thrive, like magical moments are are our correlation there. And it might sound like a little floofy, so I just want to give you an example with my good friend Dean about what that looks like in a community setting.
What's your favorite thing about doing all this?
This?
Yes.
I've been around. I mean, I've done a lot of traveling, but places I would never, ever get the opportunity to see. This makes it possible. And it puts you right there.
Oh, it's wild.
Yes. It's amazing. It is.
It is. What are you looking at, Mary?
Dolphins. Galore.
Hey, I'm on vacation every single day cause I love my occupation. Hey, I'm on vacation. If you don't like your life, then you should go and change it. Hey, I'm on vacation every single day cause I love my occupation.
It's a video that Dean put together for us, and I love it. It's one of my favorites, and that song gets stuck in my head, so I'm going to be singing that for the rest of the day. If you're like me, I'm sorry. One of the other thing that I just want to highlight, because I think this is really important as the industry continues to evolve. I'm a big believer in the growth of age tech and the use of technology to really empower a better aging experience, and I think it's something that we're really excited about across this entire industry, probably everybody who's listening in. This is one of our proudest moments from recent times, where Rendever was the first age tech company to be featured on the Times 100 Most Influential Companies list, which obviously I am proud of. But what I'm even more proud of is this gentleman right here, is my own grandfather, Charles Jung, who just celebrated his 94th birthday and is a big lover of VR. Anytime one of my family members gets to visit him, we always spend time doing VR. He really, really loves going to the Matterhorn. And the last time I went and did a session with him, we went to the Matterhorn again. And then he had one of my aunts go upstairs, find his photo book, and then he showed off the 2D photos that he took of the Matterhorn, which I just love. Cool. What is Rendever? What are we focused on? Why have we been building over the past 7 years? At our core, what we believe is that the world collectively is looking to the future and saying, as we get older, as we start to age, which is something we're all going to do, we want an aging experience that's fun, that's social, and that is focused on creating authentic connection. And I put in this point here, no matter where you age, because I think that's really important. Obviously, we all know that there's the aging in place demographic, there's the senior living demographic. No matter where you are on the aging spectrum, human connection matters. And the biggest predictor of successful longevity and successful health span is the quality of your social structure and your social support. And so what we really believe is we have an opportunity to help older adults thrive through building connections through the experiences we deliver on our platform. It's really important. As a company, we were founded on the mission of overcoming social isolation. That's still our mission today. And why this is important, I think we all probably know this, but just to re-emphasize the data. Social isolation is it's an epidemic for older adults. It's something that has been an epidemic long before the pandemic started. It has ties to a 30% increase in risk of cardiac disease, heart disease, stroke. It has a 50% increase in risk of dementia. A recent study said about a 30% increase in risk of dementia, regardless, a very big risk of dementia. It has ties to diabetes. It has ties to immunosuppression, so people are more likely to get sick and get infections. It has ties to depression and anxiety and suicide. And collectively, social isolation, these comorbidities tie to a 30% increase in mortality rates. And one of the things that's really important for us as we build out an understanding here is that growing older and getting lonely doesn't need to go hand in hand, right? It's not something that as a society we should be accepting. We should really be building an opportunity for age and human connection to go hand in hand instead. That's really what we're focused on at Rendever, what all of our products are doing. Now, that might sound crazy, and I'll get into some of the data first, but as a company, when we were getting started, we looked at all of that data and we said, we have to do something. And after a few conversations, we really built out this core driving principle that the foundation of human connection is positive shared experiences. And what may happen as you get older is you lose access to the ability to jump in and try something new, do something different, have a great time with somebody. And we were seeing this even in senior living communities, and I'm sure you can all relate. I'm sure you've all seen this, where you can bring together a group of individuals who theoretically could have great human connection, great relationships, but without the catalyst, without the opportunity, without like a really well structured seed that you get to plant, it's hard for connections to just naturally immediately form. And so what we see is if we can get people to put on these headsets and smile together and laugh together and go explore the world or go back to their childhood home and build out these communications and these conversations about their lives and who they are, there's a huge, huge opportunity. And honestly, the moment we knew we were really onto something was we had our first corporate rollout happen, not as the result of how much fun they were having in VR, but our corporate contact told us, what really strikes me is I just saw a group of residents who otherwise didn't know each other do a 30-minute Rendever session. And then when they took the headsets off, they went to lunch together. They sat down at a table together and continued the conversation. And that's what we need, right? We need to be able to create those pathways. And so that's what we've been doing. I want to give you an example of what this looks like. In the interest of time, we won't look at the whole video, but for those of you who haven't seen, this continues to be one of my favorite videos ever. This is the story of a woman named Mickey. She was at that corporate group. We were doing a very early demo. You can see these headsets are very early, in fact, when phones clipped into big pieces of plastic. And the demo was going great. Like the energy in the room was really phenomenal. Staff were all really excited. The residents were like laughing. Like you could feel it. It was tangible. Halfway in, they wheeled in a woman named Mickey. And her caregiver pulls me aside and it's like, I need you to understand. Mickey is somebody who has always been like this beacon of light in our community. She knew everybody by name, was always the first person to say hi to you in the morning, was just like this jubilant energy. And then she was diagnosed with dementia. And she was moved upstairs into locked memory care unit and she shut down. And her first symptom was expressive aphasia, which meant she went from being this big human personality to losing her ability to effectively communicate. And it's been months and I haven't seen her smile. I haven't heard her laugh. And all I want is Mickey back. And so clearly I'm a dog person. We put our heads together and put her into a room full of little golden puppies. And the reaction was immediate.
Mickey, give it a kiss!
Oh, it's beautiful.
Give it a kiss, Mickey!
Unbelievable. I didn't know it yet.
I try to shoot everyone wants me to start looking good.
There it goes, Mickey! It took off!
Here's another one.
Oh, here comes another one, Mickey! It's coming!
This is absolutely unbelievable.
I have watched that video hundreds and hundreds of times, and it makes me smile the entire time, each time. What I hope you noticed there was that Mickey was engaging with the experience. And she was calling out to the puppies at that last moment. She kissed to them. And the best part about this, and what we don't have on film, is at the end of the session, she took her headset off and the conversation continued. When it was time for me and my co-founder Tom to leave the building, she followed us out of the building, holding on to Tom's arm, telling us we need to use this in schools. Because could you imagine being a kid and having the opportunity to learn using this technology? And if you think about it, she went from months of not speaking to fully pitching us business ideas within one 30-minute VR session. And that strikes me, and it's not what we see by no means when I say that's what we see with every single resident, but it shows you what is possible when you can connect an individual to joy, to the things that make them happy from their past, and engage them in the process. You can get them to turn the light back on and really start to thrive. And this comes back to what I think a lot of us all know and inherently understand is that ultimately, today's prospects are looking for a lifestyle. They're looking for once I make that transition, is my mom going to be happy? Like, is she going to maintain that sense of joy? And avoid the stereotypes that still persist across society around what a nursing home is. And that's where we really see an opportunity for VR as a core element of resident engagement to come in. One of the things we're really excited about as we go into the future is reframing the definition of community. And this is something we really dove into during the pandemic, because all of a sudden, right, like these giant physical barriers came up. And we knew, having been working in this space and working with VR technology for so many years, like one of the core value props of VR as an overall technology is that their physical barriers melt away. As soon as you put that headset on, you can be anywhere doing anything with anybody. And what that creates is nothing but opportunity. And so what we've done is we've built out an entire family platform where family members are able to really get involved in creating and customizing the experience. There are a lot of ways that this has played out. One of the recent ways that we've seen it, Nate Jones, who is obviously one of our good friends, we love working with him, recently got married, for those of you who don't know him. And I'm telling you this story because this is the most recent time that it's happened, but it's happened before. And his mama was not able to make it to his wedding, which obviously for someone who works in this industry, for someone who loves older adults, like it's heart-wrenching. And so we got him set up with a 360 camera and with a Rendever system. His team filmed his entire wedding in VR, and then he brought it to mama. And what he did was he brought the technology to mama, sure, but he brought his wedding to her and made it so that way she was able to be a part of the experience. And it's one of my favorite examples of what you can do when you use this technology to make sure that no matter where you're physically located, no matter what your physical limitations might be, you can be a part of life, of the community that you, however you define it, right? And that doesn't have to just be your building. That can and very much should include your family. And what's great about this is that's one example of something really big for us that we did, which is a study funded by the NIH, funded by the National Institute on Aging, on this concept of virtual family engagement, where back in 2019, we were awarded a grant to study this concept. And what it looked like is we would have a resident of a senior living community, and we'd have a family member who's living at home. And they would both have their own Rendever headsets. And then weekly, they would go through structured experiential sessions where they were putting on their headsets and they were maybe going and exploring the world together. Or the next week, the family member would create a location by location life journey, reminiscence journey for someone, for that resident's life. And they would go through and they would reminisce and they would talk about moments and experiences. And then in the final session for phase one, family members would upload old family photos and videos, and then they would come together into a virtual family room, embodied as avatars, and sit on a virtual couch together with a giant TV screen on that wall showing all the photos and all the videos. And for those of you who have ever done that with a loved one, you know how fun that experience can be if you do it well. I'll say the first time a participant did it, like I was really excited and I flew out and watched the session. They spent a full 90 minutes sitting on that virtual couch talking about these old memories. And that's what reminiscence therapy is, right? Between that life story and that family photos, by being able to immerse yourself and engage in those memories, there's nothing but benefit, especially for people on the cognitive decline spectrum. Outside of that, again, as we talk about helping people thrive, it relies on thriving individuals, which relies on thriving relationships. What we saw during that phase one study was not only really significant increases in the emotional health of both individuals, both the resident and their family member, but we saw tremendous improvements through decreases in caregiver guilt and caregiver burden. We saw the emotional closeness with a family member go up. We saw isolation from the family member go down, and satisfaction in the relationship with a family member going up. Essentially, VR came in and in a 4-week time really helped to reset and re-engage and re-enliven the relationship that otherwise is pretty tough because they're so physically distanced. Now, that unfortunately got cut short because the pandemic started, but we were about halfway through data collection at that time. And the results were so overwhelmingly positive that they gave us the go-ahead to go, and we were awarded a full funding for a phase 2 clinical trial, which we're actively doing right now. We're about 60% of the way through data collection and should have publications next year. To share one final thing, obviously I think it's important to know what that looks like as we talk about remote family engagement. I'm going to play this video. What you'll see is this woman, Rosemary, unfortunately she's no longer with us. She has moderate dementia. She is on a safari. You'll hear one of the co-PIs on the study, Tammy Afifi from UCSB, talking with her, and then about a minute in, you will hear her son chime in. I want you to see what that really looks like. Ooh, wait a second.
Doesn't look like you. Oh, now what do you see, Rosemary? I see it. Oh, wow, looky here. Yeah, oh, here he comes. Look, he's gonna come see me. You're on a safari. Can I touch him? You can try. Oh, here, he's gonna give you a kiss. Be careful. Ooh. He's getting pretty close. His kiss is gonna give you a kiss, Rosemary. Oh, you're sweet. I like you. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. You got great big, whatever it is. A snout. A snout. Horns, I think. Horns? Yeah, big horns. Look at that.
So I'm going to jump forward.
Oh, that's a cute one. That's a big one, though. Oh, this is fun. I can't believe what's going on. They're going to give him some medicine. The doctors are going to give him some medicine. Oh, they are? Yeah. Why are they going to give him medicine? Just so that he doesn't get sick. Oh, now what do you see? Oh my goodness, looky there. The giraffe. Oh. Look at that giraffe. That is something else. It's a beautiful one. Can you see it?
Yeah, you remember when we go to the Miles Park Zoo and they had the giraffe down there?
Yes, I do.
When we were little kids?
Well, yes, I sure do. Oh, I love going to the zoo.
What that family member did in that moment was so powerful, right? He like took the experience that they were living on and he tied it back to memories from the past. Again, an opportunity for reminiscence therapy to really come full throttle. I won't show this video for more than a few seconds, but one of the other things that we really saw during this study, and that I'm really proud of us for studying, is we see a lot of increases in kinesic movement, right? People really get engaged, and we've coined this term of motivated movement, where if you can put an individual into an experience that they want to explore, they want to be a part of, they will find a way to turn. And we're really interested in this data. We actually just launched a new platform called Rendever Fit, which I won't get into right now. But it shows the power of what happens. And most interestingly, in this data set, we found that when a family member and a resident were spending time together, looking through going back to their childhood home, those residents, that was the highest level of kinesic engagement, which we think is a direct correlation to that's the highest level of overall engagement. What I want to end on is just this note that ultimately what we're building with this technology and where resident engagement can really go into the future is this deep understanding that in order to build a thriving community, you need to be empowering individuals to thrive. And a good approach to resident engagement and a good approach to family engagement makes that possible. And then if you can get that started, you have the opportunity to bring people together and really take the next level in formulating these relationships. So without further ado, that's all I have for today. There's a lot of detail that we could go into. I think we have 1 minute if there's one particular question that I can jump into, but I love having conversations. Please reach out to me. I would love to share more about everything that we're seeing over here.
Well, Steve, I think if you've watched that and don't have a big smile on your face, I don't know what that. Kyle, thank you. That was amazing. And I had no expectation, and that just took everything so much deeper than I ever thought. So that was wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
This session wins the award for the smile session for sure.
I think this is the first one where we've moving down the chain and we're getting into these actual life experiences and things that improve life. And I know for me personally, my parents are getting to the age, Kyle, where they're saying no to family trips, right? And so I'm just experiencing that personally for the first time. So this really hits for me. So I don't have a question per se, because I think that went a lot deeper than I ever thought it would, but I'll let Steve go from here. But for me, that really hit. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, to me, what I love about this is, and I think this is where it really ties into sales and marketing, is that the one thing that senior living offers that you can't get at home, period, is the experience of interacting with community and being empowered. And on one hand, you could say, well, this is sort of a solo activity because you're in this virtual world. But as we've watched with the videos and as you've taught, Kyle, really it's better in a social experience. It's kind of like when you and I, when we go to the space station, we'll have a better experience going together than we would if you went at a different time than I did, right? Because we'd have this shared experience. And so given that, I was watching these videos and I'm thinking, if I were in a community that had the Rendever system, showing those videos to prospects would be a powerful way of saying, look at what we can do for your mom, your dad, to transform their lives, to give them better experiences. And so I don't know whether you have any experiences, people are using that, you can talk about. I always hate to ask questions where I don't know what the answer is going to be in advance, but we're going to try.
Yeah, we've heard from a number of communities, especially over the past couple of years, that they integrate Rendever into their sales process. Like a prospect doesn't come through without at least seeing Rendever as a highlight of their approach to resident engagement. And Steve, the one thing that is worth mentioning is every single one of those videos, what really strikes me is that the tone of the voice as they're reacting to the experience, it's so bright, right? It's so engaged, it's so leaning in. It's like, it's something that anybody, especially the family dyad, right? The resident and the family member, anybody who's been through the caregiving process knows you can't take it for granted when you have 30 minutes where you're just like loving life together. And to be able to offer that, even when family members are visiting, it's important.
So as I talk to people about doing marketing in communities, one of the videos I often reference, and I'm aiming to reorient to something you're doing right now, but I'm sure you've seen the video where this family took pop rocks and gave it to their grandmother or great grandmother in a nursing home. So you should go if you look up pop rocks in nursing home on YouTube. And they give these pop rocks, and just to make sure you know what the pop rocks are, they're these candies that have CO2 embedded in them. And so as you eat them, they start popping in your mouth, and they're really fun. At least I think they're fun, but I still hang out with 5th and 6th grade kids every week. So
I love it.
But the grandma just starts giggling and laughing. And I think that, you can't necessarily create those experiences every time you do a tour, but you can show videos of these experiences and say, look at what we can do for your mom. Look at what we can do for mom. Yeah. Are you doing this at home? Are they getting this in the other places that you're doing? Powerful, powerful stuff. So,
and I wonder,
Kyle, this is great.
Yeah, no, and well, Steve, you kind of spurred the question. Are you also turning this around into a marketing tool? I think it's obviously an engagement. It's a lifestyle tool once someone is in a community, but do you allow the community itself to create a virtual experience of their community to share out?
Well, one of the great things that we just kickstarted the year with was we announced our acquisition of an app called Alcove, which was built over at AARP. And what we're doing and what we're planning on is any consumer with their own VR headset can jump into Alcove and get a little bit of the magic of what we provide. Okay. And the future that we're building out right now is one in which we're blending the walls of senior living with the aging in place process to make sure that communities can start to form before someone might want to move in. And so there's a whole presentation I could do on that.
All right.
Yeah.
No, that's
cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think we got.
So let me pop up my little barcode here.
Thing.
Okay, go in there. Tell us what you think of Kyle's talk. If you don't say great things, of course, I'm going to smack you. But
I don't understand what you were watching.
That was really terrific. I just loved it. It made me smile. or you can just type into your browser talk.ac/senior living. Remember, we're giving prizes for whoever chats the most. Lots of great chats, lots of great comments. So I just really, really appreciate that. Kyle was amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for listening too.
Absolutely. All right. Next up in about 5 minutes, we have Matt Reiners and Dr. Diana Sowers from Eversound. So we're going to go from visual to hearing and see how we can improve in resident life that way. So yeah, join us in about 5 minutes for Matt and Diana, and we'll see you then.
Great.
Perfect.
Thanks, everyone.